On paper, the IQOO Neo 7 Pro seems to be the best phone under 35,000 rupees. It looks nice, it's got that Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 SoC, a brilliant OLED display, support for fast charging with the charger in the box, all at a very reasonable asking price. Now, I've been using this phone as my primary for the last week or so, and in today's video, let's take a look at if the Neo 7 Pro is every bit as good as it seems to be. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and let's get started. Now, the biggest pro for this phone has definitely got to be the price. IQOO offers two RAM storage options, 8128 and 12256, and they cost 34,999 and 37,999 respectively, which, in my humble opinion, is excellent pricing given the chip on the inside. And that is the next one, the chip, the performance this phone has on offer. The Neo 7 Pro is powered by Qualcomm's 2022 flagship SoC, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and it happens to be paired with 8 or 12 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM and 128 or 256 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage. While I wasn't able to get the same numbers seen in promotional videos, the synthetic scores I got, they were still pretty strong. Now, this phone is marketed towards gamers, so it's not just the scores that are important, but sustained performance too. That said, the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme stress test scores weren't really great. A stability score of 60%, it isn't anything to write home about. Now, if you had the question, man, if the score is just 60% on stability, why do you have performance listed as a pro? Well, that's because with this chip, the 8 Plus Gen 1, the competition doesn't fare much better. The Nothing Phone 2 does about 55%, the OnePlus 11R does 61%. So for the chip, it seems to be more or less the norm. But isn't this marketed as a gaming phone? Well, yes, and that doesn't seem to be because of some insane cooling stuff they've pulled off. It's more due to a dedicated game chip that they've included to help with frame interpolation. So IQOO's kind of worked around the thermal limitations this chip has, and we'll talk more about this under software. For now, it is worth noting that the Neo 7 Pro does not get hot. In fact, IQOO's been quite conservative here. Even when pushed, it only got a little warm to touch, never uncomfortably hot. Now, the battery and charging situation, that's definitely a major pro for this phone. We have a 5000 mAh battery on the inside, and it had no issues lasting me through a day of moderate to heavy use on a single charge. And when it's time to plug in, the included 120-watt charger gets you from 0 to 50 in just 8 minutes. A full charge takes about half an hour. Now, the display is another positive. IQOO's gone for a 6.78-inch OLED panel, so we get inky deep blacks with excellent contrast alongside colors that really pop. This also happens to be a 10-bit panel with full HDR support, meaning works with Netflix too. The brightness peaks at 1300 nits, which is definitely good enough for the segment. So the Neo 7 Pro is easy to use outdoors, and all this is covered by shot sensation up glass for protection. Now, underneath this display lies a fingerprint sensor that was quite quick, accurate and responsive, no complaints. The stereo speakers too, I'd call them a positive, rich and loud. Now, what isn't a positive though is this frame here. It's plastic. That said, I still see the build as a whole as a pro, because the orange vegan leather back here, it's quite unique and stands out in a sea of similar looking phones. And it's not just aesthetics, since it also adds to the grip and makes the Neo 7 Pro comfortable to hold. Now, this back, it also curves at the edges, so the Neo 7 Pro doesn't even feel as thick as it actually is. It actually feels quite nice in hand. Now, if you really wanted a glass back, IQOO also offers a SKU with just that. Okay, let's now take a look at the placements. The power and volume keys are present to the right. The secondary mic and IR plaster are located up top. The left is left clean. And at the bottom, we find the dual SIM tray, primary microphone, USB Type-C port, and the primary speaker. Now, while the build as a whole, I see it as a pro, there are some notable cons. There is no microSD or a headphone jack, the Type-C port is USB 2.0, and this phone also doesn't support NFC. Moving on to software, this one's a bit of a mixed bag. The Neo 7 Pro is running on Android 13 with Funtouch OS on top. Given the hardware inside, it's no surprise the phone's pretty responsive, apps open up quick, there's no lag. But on the flip side, IQOO only promises 2 years of software updates and 3 years of security patches. Now that's 1 year lesser than what the competition has to offer. Now, the software experience itself is excellent once you set things up. Initially, there is some pre-installed bloat that thankfully can be uninstalled. There's also hot apps and games which can easily be turned off from settings. Now, once you're past this point, the software experience, as I said, is excellent. There is a dedicated remote control app to help make use of that IR cluster to control appliances around the house. You get a lot of customization options for things like always on functionality. The gaming related features in particular are well done. Despite the lower stability, games can constantly run at higher frame rates on this phone, and that's because of the dedicated chip that helps with interpolation. So you get to use frame interpolation to hit say 90 FPS on a game like Genshin Impact or 120 FPS on something like Call of Duty Mobile. It might sound gimmicky, and to an extent it is, but the gameplay experience actually felt good. Now on top of that, there are some gesture controls that have been provided. For example, I have pull back to bring up the scope, push forward to reload. It's nice. There's also 4D vibration feedback that lets you feel where you're being shot at from. It's little things like this that improve the gaming experience. So while the user experience itself is a pro, the lack of updates in comparison with the competition and the included bloat make software a bit of a mixed bag for me. Okay, let's now talk cameras. This phone has a triple camera setup. The primary is a 50 megapixel Samsung GN5, the same sensor that we just saw on the Red Magic 8S Pro the last video. It's paired with an optically stabilized f1.9 lens here. Under good light, this camera actually does quite well. The dynamic range is pretty good. Note that these shots were actually taken under the harsh midday sun. Now when we zoom in, we can see the detail being retained quite nicely. The blur when we shoot particular objects, it's also quite natural and smooth. I liked it. The portrait mode with the 2x crop was actually quite impressive. Got some very good shots with that. This is Tim Tim, our building's mascot stray. She's pretty awesome. Now under low light, that's where I feel this hardware can't really compete with the competition. Images are decent, but the competition definitely does better. See these comparison shots with the OnePlus 11R? You can obviously see the difference in detail. Video tops out at 4K 60. The stability is good enough, though there is a bit of EIS jitter. Next we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Shots are pretty decent, though the colors aren't very well matched with the primary. They come across cooler in comparison, but it gets the job done, I guess, fits more into a frame. Finally, there's the 2 megapixel macro that, let's not even go there. For selfies, we have a 16 megapixel shooter, the Samsung S5K3P9, one we've seen on a lot of other phones. And just like with those other phones, the skin tones are natural here, the detail levels are good, so is the edge deduction. Selfie videos though, they max out at 1080-30, which is a disappointment, especially in 2023. Now guys, to be honest, I went in expecting the cameras to disappoint, but they did fare better than I expected them to. Don't get me wrong, the IMX890 on the OnePlus 11R on the Nothing Phone 2 will definitely do better, especially under say low light, so the optics here aren't bad, but they still are the weakest aspect of this phone, so I'm gonna call them a minor negative. So let me put it this way, if camera is a high priority for you, I wouldn't suggest you the Neo 7 Pro. I'd suggest you look at say the OnePlus 11R or the Nothing Phone 2. But if you are focusing on price to performance, the Neo 7 Pro at its current price is pretty much unbeatable. It's a good phone that I feel has been made great by the aggressive price point. And that's my take on the IQOO Neo 7 Pro. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.